I feel she is pretending.
Don't provoke me to anger.
That's another offense.
Hey guys, what's Gucci, my neighbors? It's yo girl Amanda. I'm back. Space Angels, pop stars. Welcome back to another one of my amazing recaps. I'm hitting you guys with them bangers. We're not gonna waste any time. We're just gonna jump right in. I'm gonna give you the tea. This episode was juicy. I'm telling you, this was like, granted, there were parts of the episode that I was kind of just like, boring. All right, starting off strong, we're gonna start off with Elise and Joshua. So their segment was, I don't know. I don't know. You know what it is? It's the pettiness. It's like these are grown people and they're acting like
You're gonna be going to the grocery store.
She thinks out the blue she's a smart little girl that she can do whatever she wants.
You know what I thought too at the start of like her season? I really thought that Joshua was a paid actor. I honestly feel like they milked. Has to be. There's no shot. There's no reason. Elise and Joshua, that their segment is real. They would have to come to me themselves and tell me that the relationship was real because it's just not believable. I'm sorry. It's just not good. The Oscar did not go to you, Marty Supreme. No. So at the start of their segment, we see Elise and she's kind of just like pacing around the room and everything. And you can tell she is literally one breath away from a panic attack. She finna hyperventilate. She's like, yeah, this place looks like a frat house. I don't understand how living with two guys can be so messy.
This place is a disaster. Like, I'm not used to living with two men in like a frat house.
My question is, if you guys know that you're entertaining a woman in your place, why are you still being nasty? Why are you still being dirty? You're telling me that you can't pick up after yourself. You telling me that you washing your face, you brushing your teeth, and the water is splashing up on the glass and you can't wipe it down when you're done? You could not catch me. That could not be me. I am not a maid. I don't get paid. So Elise says that she woke up in the morning and Joshua was gone.
Like, where is he? What is he doing? And I have no idea what to think.
So Elise says that she sent him a message and she was like, where are you? Where did you go? He was like, oh, I went out. And she was like, all right, well then have fun with Nat then. And he replied with a heart. Why?
What was the reason?
So it's like you know that she's already insecure about the whole situation between you and Nat. Why are you poking the bear? Why are you instigating her? It's like you want a reaction. It's like you want her to get pissed off and leave. It's not clocking to me. So remember, the last place we left off with Elise and Joshua was they were in the restaurant with Nat, and Nat was like, oh, are you jealous of me and my relationship? And Elise was like, well, you know, it makes me feel uneasy. And so Elise is saying they went to bed angry. They are not on good terms. They're just, her and Joshua are just not on the same page whatsoever. So again, she brings up, you know, in her confessional about the whole living situation. And honestly, I don't know if this is genuinely a problem that they're having, or if TLC was like, find something and that will be your guys' issue for the season. Because all of this could have been avoided if Joshua had just told her from the very beginning. Instead of lying and omitting the fact that like he doesn't live with his parents and that he lives with Nat, all of that could have been avoided. The argument at the dinner could have been avoided. She could have decided from before she left whether she wanted to still come to Sydney or not. Like, what are we doing? So you see her, she's kind of tidying up the living area and she is literally a whisper. She's away from having a mental freak out. You can just see it. It's brewing.
And like, I want to go home.
I feel sad. I feel bad for the guy. I changed his whole life and he fell in love with me.
If this is real, I feel so bad for her. Like, this sucks.
This is the worst.
This is the worst.
So during the festering of like her emotional breakdown, you see her and she's, you know, like she's getting emotional. And then you kind of hear like in the background, Joshua, and the producer's like, what just happened?
What just happened? He left. He saw me crying and left.
What? How douchey are you? Remember, you are telling this girl that you love her. You are telling this girl that you want to be with her. And the minute she shows like a brief of weakness, an uncomfortability, your instinct is to run. Like, my dude SpongeBobbed away. What are we doing? Why? So she goes out and she talks to him and she's like,
why would you leave? Like, why would you do that?
And he's like,
I thought you needed more time and more space, like you seemed upset.
I don't understand the thought process. And the worst part about it is like, you can even see it on his face. Like, I don't know if anybody else got this. Maybe I'm thinking too much into it. But when I watched it, I was like, homeboy has the face of like somebody who does not care. He's like over the issue, over the situation. Like, he's just like, but then also in the same breath, what do you mean she needed more time? He was like, oh, sorry, I thought you needed more time. You left her. You reacted with a heart to her comment. And you already know that she's insecure about the whole situation. You know that she's already up here. Her patience is already sky high. You see her upset and then you're like, oh, sorry, I thought you needed more space. I'm trying to get through it. Honestly, I'm telling you, he has to be a paid actor. And then homeboy wants to play in her face and be like, oh, but what are you upset about?
Sorry, I thought you needed time. What are you upset about?
Why don't you do us all a favor and leave before the audience gets pissed off?
He is a paid actor, Michael B. Jordan. We gotta get through this recap because if I just nitpick everything, then we're not gonna get anywhere. So anyways, she's like, I don't understand what's going on right now. Like, what is happening? He's like, oh no, don't worry. Like, I ran off and did a couple things while you were asleep. It's not that big of a deal. And he's like, no, I have work I gotta do. Like, and Elise is like,
so that was a lie.
So of course, Elise clocks it and she's like, no, this wasn't about a job. And then he's like, okay, then like, what was it about then? She's like,
just answer the question, okay? Please don't play with me right now.
Play with me. She's like, you know. She's like, don't try to lie to me. You did not go to work. She had the face. I know that face. I've done that face. That's the face. So what did we miss? What did we miss in those wee bit hours? Anyways, so at the end of the conversation, Elise goes back inside. She walks into the bedroom. She sits on the bed. Joshua follows her into the bedroom. His confessional, he's like, oh, I walked in the door and I saw her crying. No, I kind of just thought that she needed more space. So back in the bedroom. So remember, Elise is sitting on the bed and Joshua follows her into the bedroom and they start talking. She's like, well, where did you go? Did you go to Nat's house? And he's like,
I wasn't at Nat's today, no.
So that was a lie.
He reiterates again, I'm telling you, I had work to do, I still have a job. I have a boat and I went to work. The boat has to travel from point A to point B, like across the country, whatever. They need the keys, so I had to give them the keys and that's what I did. So of course Elise is sitting there and she's like, I don't know, man, like, I don't know. Joshua's like, all right, you know what? Let's just forget this happened. Let's just go to the beach. And so Elise is like, reluctantly, but she's like, okay, sure, yeah, let's go. So fast forward to the next scene. We see them on the beach. Elise is learning how to surf. They're on the surfboards doing their thing, and then they're gonna go into the water. And they look fine. They look happy. They look like nothing ever happened.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
So after they go surfing, they go and they're like, okay, let's get something to eat. So you see them go to like a burger joint, and they both get like these really big, juicy looking burgers. Put it in my mouth. I am ready to feast. Let's go. They're like, okay, let's go somewhere else and sit down and eat. So now that they're sitting at the beach, the conversation starts off simple. They're both laughing. They're both having a good time. They're chuckling. They look like they're enjoying each other's company.
A big mouth.
I have a small mouth.
No.
Yeah, right.
What did he say?
And then the conversation mood starts to shift. It changes, So it got like awkward silence. So Lisa's like, well, what's on your mind? And Joshua's like, oh, well, like, I wish you would stay longer. Lisa's like, well, no, like, I don't want to leave either. It's getting cute. You think that, like, the conversation is, gonna start to heat up again? Wrong. It starts to go sour. It starts to go south. Joshua asks, what's on your mind?
And here we go.
You just have to open that floodgate because we all know what she's gonna say. So, of course, Elise is like, oh, like, you're a good guy. You're great. But the living situation with that, this is literally like the number one pick of conversation choice. Anyways, what she actually says though is like,
your life's unstable. Like, there's so many question marks.
You don't have a job, like your whole living situation, like it's a mess. Joshua explained he had a son. The son moved away with the mom and the husband, and they moved like an hour away by plane.
I started to spiral a bit. And going out a lot to take my mind off things.
He's like, yeah, like I'm just trying to readjust to life. He's like, I'm working on myself and I'm readjusting. Elise is like, well, I totally understand that.
I've been in your position.
She's like, I used to have a wild past. So Elise says it. She's like, the point I'm trying to make is that like in my past, I was taken advantage of. Like, this guy that I was seeing took advantage of me. He took advantage of my parents. Like, he used me for money. I don't want that to happen again. Rightfully so. Listen, if a man is scamming you out of your life, if it's on deck. I'm telling you right now. While she's trying to explain that, she's like, okay, it's getting windy. You can see she's getting like slapped around by the wind. She's like, we has to go. She's like, can we take this conversation somewhere else? She's like, I'm getting tossed. So they go into the car. She explains to him, you know, like, this is what happened. This is my past. Like, this is what I've gone through. I'm worried that you're going to be using me. He's like, so what? So what if I'm using that? And Elise is like, yeah, she has like a financial hold over you. She's like, I'm afraid that you're going to do the same to me. Homeboy with the quick mouth.
What have I made you pay for when you've been here?
Listen, Mr. Ponzi scheme. That's not how this works. Just because you are forking this bill right now doesn't mean you're not going to switch it up and switch futures in the future. So he rebuttals to Elise and he's like, oh, so you think I'm leeching? Homegirl has been there for 3 weeks. She said she has 8 days left. And you said that you've been paying for everything while she's been there. With what money? The money that he hasn't been using to pay his rent. I'm telling you right now, homeboy needs to get his shirt stuck in the doorknob because that is some crazy brazy work. That man is brazen because the quickness on his tongue, the fact that he was able to spew that out so quickly, so smooth. Man thought he was butter. When I tell you that made me gag, that guckled me. There was some amp in his voice. Elise says it too. She's like, yeah, you know, it kind of sounds like you're getting defensive. Like I said, man with the quick feet, he wanted 2-step. He was like,
Just sick of the peppering. Like you're flogging the same horse. Like.
I'm telling you right now, my flight's booked. My plane is about to leave. I'm on it. Because there is no way that man could talk to me the same way that he just did. The disrespect. It is the low quality image for me. So he rebuttals and he was like, well, if you think that then I'm just gonna assume you're gonna react the same way that you usually react and you're just gonna get upset and you're just gonna go. He's like, please let me know. I'm not playing that game. And I was like, neither is she. Neither am I. Yeah. Anyways, so that's how the end of their segment for this episode is. So at the end of this episode, we see the snippet of the next episode. You see that they're at a restaurant. Elise is like, well, I need to speak to both Nat and Joshua face to face again about this living situation. It's bothering me. It's bugging me. She's like, I just need to get over it. Like, I need to talk about it. And so they're at the restaurant. So of course, Elise is like, yeah, she's like, I'm telling you right now, I don't like it. This relationship, the Nat and Joshua, y'all's relationship, she's like, I don't like it. It's not for me. It's not vibing. I'm not clocking it. So Elise is like, yeah, no, you want an emotional friend. Like, you want to be emotionally with her and then you just want to physically be with me. What is this? Like, what are we? Like, and then, like I said, Joshua with the mouth and the tongue, he was like, oh, so what you're saying, I can't have any female friends? So of course, Lisa's like, let me ask the audience. So she gets up and she's like,
am I crazy or is my guy living with a girl and getting financially supported crazy?
All in all, like I said, I really feel like their segment is like a whole nothing burger. I mean, it isn't. It should be a nothing burger because, like I said, if he was just honest at the start, I keep saying it. If he was just upfront about the whole situation, the whole living situation from the very beginning, this wouldn't be a problem. This wouldn't even be a conversation. So the next couple, my favorite couple, Daniel and Lisa.
I'm a model, you know what I mean.
So their scene starts off with them in the car.
And you would do it too for a check.
So they're in the car talking and, you know, Lisa's like, oh, so like, are you like, you talk to him first? Like, are you gonna talk to him first? And Daniel's like, yeah, I have to talk to my uncle first. He's my uncle. Like, I gotta explain to him what's happening. They get to the place and they're walking to go see the uncle.
I'm really nervous.
And of course, like you can hear like in the confessional, Daniel's like, yeah, no, I still love Lisa. I still want to marry her. And I'm like, okay. Again, in Daniel's confessional, he's explaining like how he's anxious, he's nervous to talk to his uncle. And he's like, I've disgraced myself. Which when I heard that, I was like, that sucks. Like the fact that that's his thought is like that he's a disgrace because of her actions. I was like, ah, man. So the uncle walks up and he's like, oh, Lisa, how are you? Like, how you doing? And she's like, and he's like, oh, Daniel, like, hope all is well. And Daniel's like, he sits down and the uncle's like, well, what's the problem? And you can see too, like on Daniel's face, he's like, how do I tell you this? Daniel's like, oh, well, you know how Lisa said that she's not a liar? Well, turns out that she lied. She is a liar. She's still married and she's also still practicing lesbianism. She's been with multiple women. So the uncle's like, what?
No, ma'am.
So Daniel's explaining this to the uncle, and Lisa's like, no, you're leaving things out, like you're not giving the full context. Daniel's like,
I'm not finished.
and Lisa's like, no, like, let me tell the story, and they're like,
First off, oh my God, can you let me do what I need to do?
no. And the uncle even says it too. He's like, no, you stop talking. He's like, it's not your turn to talk. Let Daniel talk, and then you can talk. Which I also want to point out, Daniel already told her in the car. He was like, I will talk first, and then you can talk. So the fact that she kept trying to interject, even though he already told her what the play was gonna be.
Get out of here.
Come on. When Daniel's done talking, the uncle looks at Lisa and he's like, you told me to stop the lesbianism. He's like, why am I hearing about this now? I already asked you this question and you told me that you were telling the truth and that you stopped, but it turns out you didn't stop, that you're still lying. He's like,
This is an abomination.
so Lisa's like, no, like, no, it's not, sir, please no. She's like, I'm telling you, like, last time I talked to you and I said that I stopped, she's like, I meant it. I stopped. So she's like, well, I just didn't tell you how many times or how many times in the past or like how many women in the past. She's like, I omitted that fact, but everything else I said was true. So she tries to tell the uncle again. She's like, in America, like everything is different than it is here. And the uncle's not trying to have it. He's not trying to hear it. He's like, this is an abomination. He's like, no, ma'am, this is not good. He says, he's like, yeah, because of this, y'all can't get married. It's cut. He's like, hang up the bells. It's not happening. So of course, hearing this, Lisa starts hyperventilating. And she's like, and so Daniel's like,
again.
He's like, he reaches over and he's like, Lisa, calm down. So while Lisa's hyperventilating, the uncle's just sitting there and he's like, this is fake. He's like,
she lied and I should have known better when I seen her hair.
So he's just sitting there just waiting for her to finish up. He's just like, so the uncle was like, when she cry, it makes me more angry. That is another infraction.
I feel she is pretending.
Don't provoke me to anger.
That's another offense.
Oh my gosh, I'm telling you. I know it's probably bad that I laughed. I don't, like, listen, we're supposed to be taking this serious because this is a real situation that they're in. But you can't tell me that the fact that this man was like, when she cries, it makes me more angry. That's another infraction. I'm even more angry.
Right to jail, right away.
So anyways, so fast forward again, they're still there. She's still there crying. And the uncle says again, he's like, I don't understand why she's still crying. Like, she's still crying. So Lisa kind of picks up herself. You know, she kind of takes hold of her emotion and she's like, I can't change my past. Like, there's nothing I can do. And then, so the uncle says, he's like, well, I don't know if you're going to tell the truth in the future. He's like, how do I know you're not going to revert and do this all over again? All of a sudden, Lisa's, with her quick thinking, her quick actions, her quick movement, almost gets on her knees.
Uncle, I'm not God.
No, you're not.
I'm not God. Whoa, now. You got too much dip on your chip.
He's like, I'm no God. And she's like, no, I know you're not God, but like, please, I beg you for your forgiveness. And he's like, please get up. Please, another infraction. You are making me more angry. He didn't say that part, but I'm sure that's what he was thinking. So Daniel's just sitting there and he's just like, please, I need this to be over. I know what he's thinking. Homeboy's like, I need this visa. He's like, what's more important, my reputation or my freedom in US? He's weighing the odds. He's thinking it out. He's forming a plan. So of course, with his quick action, he's like, please, uncle, please.
I can go on my knees. Please.
He's like, please, uncle. He's like, I love her with all my heart. I want to marry her. She's the one for me. Please, like, what can we do? There has to be something that we can do. And so the uncle's like, oh, this is above me. He's like, we need a higher essence to intervene, to come take hold. We need somebody else to come take control because I can't do it. The uncle suggests that they set up another meeting and they go and meet the elders. So fast forward to the end of the episode, we see a snippet of the next episode and we see Daniel and Lisa. They both go to like some place. Lisa's dressed up in a really nice outfit. She looks good. And they're just, it's sort of like a ritual. It looks like they're doing some sort of essence ritual. They're trying to get the demons out of her. They're trying to cleanse and purge Daniel and his soul. That's what that looked like. So yeah. And then that's how their segment ends for this episode. So on to the next couple. Another one of my favorites, Laura, Beeron, and Michael. So they're sitting there, it's getting all awkward, it's getting all weird. Beeron's trying to put on a facade that like he's like this tough dude.
She's good, she's happy.
Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing. I'm like, you're playing this game very wrong. Like, if you think that the attitude and your demeanor towards Michael is gonna work out for you in the long run, you are wrong. You are mistaken.
That is not correct.
Because if Michael doesn't like you, he can just go back to Laura and be like, I don't like him. He's a psychopath. Like, you need to cut it. She probably will listen to him, and that's probably what she will do. There's no amount of romantic gestures of him running her body up against the wall like a romantic book. It's not happening. I'm sorry. She's not Adeline. She's not being haunted. I thought it was so funny. They literally sat there forever in like the most awkwardest of silence. Like,
I have a gift for you.
to break the silence, Michael's like, well, Laura, I got you a gift. Laura was like, oh, no way. I'm surprised. Like, thank you. And Beercon's like,
I'm not surprised.
And it was so weird too, because like, even when he was passing her that book, I was like, is that the Lights Out book? So after Michael gives Laura the gift, Beercon's just sitting there and he's like unfazed. He's like, wow, you're so cool.
You're so thoughtful.
And so Michael's like, yeah, I am. Thank you. Actually, I am cool. So of course, you know, in Laura's confessional, she clocks it. She's like, yeah, Michael just came here or just arrived here in Turkey. It is so awkward. Beercon is just being so standoffish. He's being so douchey. Like, she's like, he needs to cut it. So Michael asks Laura and he's like, so what's it like, you know, being down here? And Laura's like, oh yeah, you know, it's been pretty good. She's like, I feel like I'm in like vacation mode because like I'm having to do everything at a different time than like what I would normally do. She's like, we go out more often. So like I'm up later than I would be back home. I'm trying to keep up with Beercon. So then Michael is like, well, yeah, he's like, no, that's understandable. He's like, well, you know, like if Beercon was to come to the States, I'm sure he would have to try to keep up with you and your lifestyle. And then Beercon's like,
Your friend has a point.
so after Beercon says that, he's like, you know, it's like a quick, brief moment of silence. And he's like, so Michael, you know, do you like turkey? And then Michael's like, oh, you know, like, you know, from what I've seen just driving from the airport to here, you know, like the drivers, they weave in and out of people like on the road. They're really quick. And Beercon's like, yeah, that's turkey for you. Welcome to Turkey. And that was it. It was just quiet. It was just crickets.
Hey, yeah, welcome to Turkey.
I slowly he laughed. He was like, I was like, sir, you can't just hold on the fakenicity for a little bit longer. The whole thing, that whole moment was just like, it was just so weird. I don't know what game he thought he was, no, I know what game he was trying to play, but that wasn't the move. It was just so awkward.
Well, this is awkward.
In Beercon's confessional, he says it. He's like, I had to be a jerk so I can just set the ground rules, so I can set the ball going, you know? And I was like, no, sir, you know, you did not. You did not have to be like that. You did not have to play that game. You were playing that game by yourself. And he says it in his confessional. He's like, I played this game a lot. I know what guys like him are like. And I was like, you said it yourself that you've played this game a lot, meaning that you have done this to other guys before. That must mean you lost. You lost at that game. Because if you're trying to do the same tactic with a different woman, that means the prior women, the past girls, the tactic didn't work. It was unsuccessful. So like, why would you continue and repeat the precedent? You see what I'm saying?
Does that make any sense to you?
So you see them get up and they leave, and they're gonna go take Michael back to his hotel. So in the next scene, you see them driving in the car, which I also want to point out, Beercon thought he was smart. He thought he was slick. Homeboy sat in the middle between Laura and Michael. I see what he was doing there. I was like, sir, I got you. And fooled me. So in the taxi, Beercon says, he's like, yeah, you know what? I want to get to know him one-on-one. You know, like I want to be able to talk to him, ask him questions. Like I want to hang out to him. I want to get to like him. I want to get to know him. And Laura's like, oh, like that's nice. And I'm like, that's strategic. Beercon has it in his mind that Michael wants to be with Laura. But in my mind, I'm like, Laura wants to be with Michael or Beercon. She has no preference. She just wants whichever man will win. She's living her fantasy.
He wants to marry me.
So fast forward, Beercon, Laura, and Michael all meet at a cafe. So Beercon sits there, and good for him for, you know what, I'll give him that. He has his moments of like kind of shadiness, but like for the most part, he's been upfront. He was upfront about his debt. He was upfront about like his motives, maybe part of it. For the most part, he's been giving Laura the truth. It might not be the best truth. It might be a lot of red flags, but at least he's upfront about it. And same thing right now. So when he's talking to Laura and Michael, he's like, yeah, Michael, I was rude to you. He's like, I was an absolute jerk to you on purpose. He's like, the energy I was giving you, you didn't give it back. He's like, you were super nice to me. He's like, I respect that. I like that. I like you.
And I'm sorry.
And then, so they're talking. So Beeron's like, now that we're on the same page, like, he's like, you can ask me anything like you want, like, I'll tell you. So Michael is like, okay, Beeron, like, explain to me about your whole debt situation.
I have 3 places. Like this. Coffee.
And then the pandemic hit and he's like, I had to sell them. He's like, when I sold them, all the money that I got back, I was still left with like 50K in debt. He's like, it wasn't enough. He's like, so I go to the casino to gamble. He's like, I know how to stop. I know when to call it. He's like, I know how to play the game. He's like, I know how to make money with gambling.
Hey, I can take this hat off anytime I want. I just don't want to.
And I'm like, but if that's true, then you would have money, right? You wouldn't be trying to escape to go to America. You're kind of giving yourself a little bit too much give. You know, you're kind of putting your own horse. You're saying you're good, but are you really that good? Because if you were really that good, you would have more than your means. So in the next conversation, Michael's like, well, you know, like in America, you know, it's kind of customary that you marry your best friend. And I was like, that is so sweet. So Michael is explaining to Beeron, he's like, yeah, usually your best friend is someone that, like, you know, you enjoy spending all your time with, like your interests are the same, like you guys do everything together, like you guys are close. Beeron was like,
that's suspicious.
Okay, so like if you two consider each other best friends, then like why aren't you two together then? When Michael was saying all that to Beeron, I was thinking the same thing. So Michael's like, well, I don't have an answer for that. And then he looks at Laura and Laura's like, I have an answer either. And Beeron's like,
oh, well, isn't that convenient?
Beeron's like, yeah, it's kind of weird that, you know, the two of you don't have an answer for that. And in Laura's confessional, she's like, yeah, I didn't even tell Beeron the full extent, the full story of like the romanticness between me and Michael. I'm like, what is up with these people omitting this information? It's like you don't want the relationship to work. What is wrong with just being honest up front? And then at the end of the scene, Beeron's like, but I'm telling you right now, Michael, like, he's like, I will fight for my relationship with Laura.
I will fight and nothing can over this relationship.
Fast forward to the next scene, you see Beeron and Michael hanging out. They're playing pool. You know, it starts off, you know, kind of calm. They're, you know, just kind of vibing, chilling together. And then it gets to the point where they're having a conversation. So Beeron's like, he flats out, just tells Michael, he's like, I know you like Laura. He's like, what guy would fly halfway across the world just to be for this girl? A friend. He's like, no. Michael's like, yeah, sorry, you have it all wrong. And Beeron's like, no, she rejected you. Just admit it. Just admit that, like, you know, you like her and she rejected you. You blew it. Michael's like,
You wouldn't be here with you if I had made a move.
She came on to me.
I would definitely resist, like, at first. But if he was persistent?
And the revelation on Beeron's face, he was like,
Laura made a move on me.
Huh?
I wouldn't take this level of disrespect.
His whole demeanor shifted, and he even said it himself. He's like, I no longer have quarrel with you.
And the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
He's like, I've been telling this woman the truth this whole time, and she's been lying to me. And I'm like, how bad is it? Like, I don't think Laura and Michael slept together. I don't think that's what happened. I do think she probably came on to him, and she probably kissed him, and he was just like,
Get off of me! Ugh, as if.
And that's how their segment ends. The next person we're talking about is Emma. I'm going to speedrun her segment because the whole thing, I'm sorry, Emma it's the tomfoolery. It's giving desperation. And I know that sounds bad because I'm sure she's probably like, no, it's not desperation, but it is. You can't tell me you spent your money, you booked your ticket, you traveled across the world to go be with a man, Zaid, and he left you in the desert. And then you were like, okay, no, that's no problem. I have a backup plan. I'm going to go to Muhammad. And Muhammad was like, no, thank you. I have a woman. He stood you up. That's basically her whole segment. That's literally all that happened. You see her driving to a restaurant. She's like, yeah, you know, I reached out to Muhammad and he said, meet him at like this cafe restaurant, whatever. So she gets to the restaurant and she's sitting there waiting. There's a guy that walks and she's like,
That looks just like him.
In my head, I was like, that's probably him. And he probably saw all them cameras. And he was like, I'm finna dip. So she's like, oh no, I thought it was him. It looks exactly like him. I'm like, it was him. Yes! So she's sitting there and then, you know, time goes by, 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, it goes by. And she's like, oh my gosh. So she's like, okay, let me call him. So she calls him. It goes straight to voicemail, doesn't answer. And she's like, okay, that's kind of weird, whatever. And she's like, well, it says he's online and it says he read my messages. So like, where is he? So she's waiting there. And then all of a sudden she gets a message and she's like,
Are you kidding me? He said he has a fiance.
See, when you do clownery, the clown comes back to bite.
But you played yourself. So of course, you know, she's all upset. So she gets up and she leaves like the table and she's walking, and then, you know, of course, rightfully so, she's angry and she's like,
and him. Him.
I don't give a
The Ed.
Do I look like I give a because I don't?
Mohammed. Both of them.
I don't care. I don't care.
I was not meant to find love here.
I'm great.
Someone's gonna appreciate everything that I do and the
I keep saying it, and I'm gonna keep saying it. 7 billion people on this planet, and you're telling me that you were so fixated, so focused on those ones, on those two. So she goes, so you see her walk on the beach, and she goes and she takes the ring, and she's like, I am so done with this ring, and I want a new beginning. And she chucks the ring into the ocean. And I was like, you could have pawned it. That was probably real gold. Considering you keep saying that the man has taken so much from you, the least you could have done was gotten money for something. You could have gotten money for that ring. You could have pawned it. You could have melted it. You could have sold it. That's the end of her segment. Sped run quick. At the end of the episode, you get a little snippet and you see, and she's like, well, before I go, the last thing I gotta do is see Zayed one more time. And I'm like, girl, you need to stop. The man left you stranded in a desert, strike 1. The next man, Muhammad, he said, come meet me at a restaurant, then he stood you up, strike 2. And now you're going back to strike 1? Anyways, I also want to point out, I see people keep clocking her about her wig. I'm not going to be a part of that train. I can't talk. Half the time, my makeup isn't blended. The top of my cap isn't crusted down. I'm sure if you guys look in past videos, I look just as crusty and frumpy. I'm not saying she looks crusty and frumpy. I'm saying I look crusty and frumpy. I know I look terrible in all my old videos. I thought about taking them down, but then I was like, what am I going to do that for? Who cares? Who cares? It's my face. It's not like I can change it. I don't have the money to go to Korea or Turkey. Anyways, that's my tangent. Let's keep going. 2 more couples. We have 2 couples left. Like I said, I feel like I should speed run these 2 as well because, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Their segment actually bored me. It made me so bored. Rick and Trisha. Yeah, their segment, I feel like I can totally speed run it. Same way how I did for Emma, just kind of spoil the ending. Basically, Trisha's dad is just like, yeah, I don't know why you're entertaining being with him. The man doesn't want kids with you. On the first hand, you think the dad would be supportive of the relationship solely because it is allowing his daughter to go to the States, like to go to the US. Then she can go to school, she can have a career, she can do something for herself. But then in the same breath, he's very traditional oriented focused. So it's like, he's like, no, I want what's best for my daughter. And I want also what's like the responsibility of like our tribe, like our people. That's basically it. Last but not least, like I said, I'm gonna speed run this couple, Aviva and Stig. Same thing, their segment kind of bored me. I'm sorry. It's just the same thing. Like, gorl. Homeboy got caught cheating in 5K, up in your face, in your person. It was a real girl that came to you and said it. And you still gonna be like, and then homeboy had the nerve to be like, yeah, I think we should start cheese protection now. After the fact. Aviva had me solid in that first half. She was like, yeah, you know, my period's late. And I'm like, girl, it could be stress, but you could be pregnant considering you guys have been raw dogging, you know. And then she was like, well, my periods are really irregular. And I was like, you lost me. I'm clocking it now. I'm calling it now. Before the next episode airs, I'm telling you right now, she's not pregnant. I don't think she's pregnant. She's not pregnant. Anyways, that's the end of their segment. At the very, very end of the show, for what happens next in the next episode, we see Forrest and Sheena and they're like, oh, we clap cheeks. And I was like, oh, yay, that's cute. That's great. He's like, I'm no longer a virgin. And I was like, you know what? Good for you. And that's about it. I know that probably sounded sarcastic, but like, how excited is anybody going to be for somebody else clapping cheeks? I don't know. I don't need to know about the bumping and grumping. Yeah. So that's basically it. That was the gist of the episode. Nothing too fancy, nothing too crazy. I know I kind of skipped a lot of things that happened in, not really. No, I'm going to take that back. Not much happened with the last 3 couples. Like Aviva and Stig, not much happened. Emma, not much happened. Rick and Trisha, not much happened. But I'm sure in the next episode, hopefully we'll see more of what happens with Sheena and Forrest. That's basically this episode's recap. I hope it was good. I hope it wasn't too rushed. I hope I didn't bore you guys. If I'm talking too much, please let me know. If you're bored, let me know. I just love to talk. If you haven't checked out my last episode, then I will link it down below. Anyways, thank you guys so much again for coming to my channel and come and hang out with me. I love our family reunion. It is the best time ever. Other than that, thank you. I love you guys so much and I will catch you guys in the next one. Until next time, chip chop.